Listen,
Like right now in the country, with cryptocurrencies,
Yep.
digital assets, we have a lot of young Black people, young white people engaged in that industry. You know what the biggest problem is right now,
What's
Stephen
that?
A?
What is that?
Is that the Democrats on Capitol Hill want to overregulate the industry before they even find out what it is. So how are they
you
going to
heard
be
Stephen
able
A?
to put their couple of Bitcoins together or whatever they have and create a small business that could actually thrive when there's so many regulations in the system before they even start? That doesn't make any sense. Give the industry an ability to grow.
I agree with that. Can't argue
He
with that
agrees
one
with him?
bit, but I would say this to you. You know this from growing up in the streets of New York, going to an HBCU and doing all the things that you've done and traveling through just experiencing the trials and tribulations that you have. Sometimes, first of all, people don't have a lot of time to know what you know.
Get
I
to
don't know
it.
half the things you know. I'm a very, very busy man. I would like to believe I'm accomplished. I don't know what you know. I'm gonna go up and read a lot
You
tonight.
could have been
this is
doing
gonna be
that,
based
Stephen
off of
A,
this
on YouTube.
conversation. But you and I both know most of the constituency out there doesn't know the issues nearly as much as they should. So they rely
Hold on. We gotta
individuals
talk. We just gotta let him say it. And then we talk about it later.
that you've done and traveling through just experiencing the trials and tribulations that you have. Sometimes, first of all, people don't have a lot of time to know what you know.
We all gotta work, right?
Things you know. I'm a very, very busy man.
I gotta
would
work
like to
too.
believe I'm accomplished. I don't know what you know. I'm gonna go up and read a lot tonight and over.
You ain't gotta read,
this
Stephen A. You know that, so you're lying.
But you and I both
Come
know
on, man.
most of the constituency out there doesn't know the issues
Now you're
nearly
telling
as
the
much
truth.
as they should. So they rely on individuals, they rely on sound bites, they rely on what's perpetrated over the airwaves.
That
et cetera,
don't make
et
no
cetera.
sense.
So let's
You
take,
are
for example, a guy like Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. He's a Republican too. You had your issues with him, particularly on the education. I mean, when you think about the teaching curriculum in Florida, what is this? Educators instructing middle schoolers that quote certain.
he just said that constituents, even himself, didn't know what Byron just said. YouTube's been here for a while now. A real long time, Stephen A. And to actually say that you, someone who speaks about politics and policy, don't actually know, and agreeing with the constituents don't actually know either, and those are the people that do the vote. What's that mean? You don't need anybody to do it. It's so quick. You can just go 30 seconds on YouTube and then get caught up in a conversation between human beings that's an hour long that actually talks about policies instead of just Trump. What's the media going to talk about when there's no more Trump? You'll be broke. It'll be mainstream media broke.
Enslaved developed skills, which in some instances can be applied for their personal benefit. You spoke out against it. You're a father with 3 sons, if I remember correctly, according to my research, and you combated a guy like Ron DeSantis on that issue. What is it like for you to be associated with a governor who is a Republican, who would be supportive of something I imagine you found to be an egregious position for him to have?
Oh, I don't have a problem with it. It's like disagreeing with one of the players on your team about how you're going to run the play. We have the same goal. I think Ron DeSantis and our goals are similar, but on this issue, I'm like, nah, bro, you're wrong, and let me explain why. And I think that it's healthy for that to happen internally in the party. What you don't want is for a governor or somebody to say, this is what I'm doing, and everybody just puts their head in the sand, knowing that it's the wrong way to go. And I think that, so when you bring up that issue, it's actually really
this
healthy
is the
because
man.
what the scholars put out, could you say it's technically correct? Yes. But how does it sound? How does that appeal to people? What's going to be the response of people? Will your opponent, in this instance, I mean the Democrats, are they going to try to wield it and use it against you? The
That's
answer
the
to that is
game.
also yes. So that's where I have a responsibility to come out and say, no, that doesn't make any sense. We should make a change to that. And I think that's healthy. And if you have a healthy party where you're allowed to have disagreement with people who
Yup.
are, I'll say we're kind of at the top of the elected side of the party, that makes it for a better party overall. I will be more concerned if I made a statement like that and the entire party came out against me. That's actually not what happened. A lot of people in the party were like, man, thank you for saying that because I didn't agree with it, but I didn't
Got to be
know how to say
accountable
it.
now.
Right.
So when you said it, it actually gave me something to work from to be able to educate other people.
I feel you about that. I feel you on that because you're talking about a bigger picture, and I get that. The flip side to it, however,
So then what you talking about, Steve?
if I'm with somebody that I'm aligned with, and they can disagree with me on the issue of slavery and how white, because that when I actually went on Fox News and I said this about Jesse Waters, who actually I like his show and what have you. But I'm like, why are you even bringing that up? Why are you even defending it? Why are you even trying to explain what his intent was? It's slavery, bro.
Yep.
That is not something that we need to find a disagreement on because you didn't go through that. We did as a people. And so for me, it's not just a disagreement. It's the actual issue that you were disagreeing on that made me look at Ron DeSantis differently. But I want to move on because I know
I want to hear more.
really thank you for your time.
Oh my, no. Why would you do that? We got to go back and talk more. I agree with you. I want to hear what he says.
At this point, I'm talking about 4 count. I'm talking about 4 charges, 91 counts. I mean, people are talking about.
He just said what? Did he say what? Hold on. We got to go back. We got to go back. All right.
I didn't agree with it, but I didn't know how to say it.
Right.
So when you said it, it actually gave me something to work from to be able to educate other people.
I feel you about that. I feel you on that because you're talking about a bigger picture, and I get that. The flip side to it, however, is this: if I'm with somebody that I'm aligned with, and they can disagree with me on the issue of slavery and how white, because I actually went on Fox News and I said this about Jesse Waters, who actually I like his show and what have you. But I'm like, why are you even bringing that up? Why are you even defending it? Why are you even trying to explain what his intent was? It's slavery, bro.
I agree with everything he just said, and Byron just agreed with it too. And I'm sure you got to go to the next segment. But darn, we could have talked about it right there.
That is not something that we need to.
I love these two.
To find a disagreement on because you didn't go through that. We did as a people, and so for me, it's not just a disagreement. It's the actual issue that you were disagreeing on that made me look at Ron DeSantis differently. But I want to move on because I know we're running out of time, and I really, really thank you for your time. And I'm really interested in talking about this. How the hell are you supporting Donald Trump at this point? At this point, I'm talking about 4 count. I'm talking about 4 charges, 91 counts.
Oh man, Steven.
You could be in prison, running the country from prison for crying out loud. I think that's gonna happen. Of course, I don't think that's gonna happen. But I'm just saying. How at this point could you possibly support Donald Trump?
First of all, I'll tell you right now,
between
him and Joe Biden, this isn't even a question. Joe Biden sucks. He's terrible at the job. And we do have to acknowledge that before COVID-19, despite all the circus and the phony investigations, the Russia collusion thing was phony. That's now come out to be proven. Despite all of the distractions in the circus, he actually did the job as president of the United States. Every demographic group was doing well under Donald Trump. Every demographic group was doing well. Our border was secure. There were no foreign wars that anybody was talking about that we were entangled in. Our country was booming. Energy prices were low. We were energy independent, something that every politician said that they wanted to do. Donald Trump actually was able to make all that stuff happen. Now let's look at the actual charges. Do you mean to tell me that because a president of the United States had classified documents, who, by the way, former presidents still have their security clearance, they still get the daily presidential briefing, that now somehow this is a threat to national security? That is a joke, especially considering the fact that the only way the National Archives can even bring this charge, or excuse me, the FBI, the Department of Justice will bring this charge, is that the White House counsel, who works for Joe Biden, had to allow it. That's one. 2, what's going on in Georgia? I'm sorry. Flat out wrong.
We'll talk about it.
Every candidate who runs is allowed to challenge election results. Every candidate. It's not some RICO charge. That's insane to me. And then when you take the other two charges, the one in New York, that one is just really, really stupid. And then the last one is January 6th one.
Okay,
They have no, hold on, this is important, Stephen, I want to lay this out.
please, I'm not.
They have nothing that proves that Donald Trump encouraged, organized, structured anything that happened with January 6th. This is weaponization of the Justice Department against a political rival. And it's flat out wrong. And here's my example for that.
Okay.
One of my colleagues, Steve Scalise,
Yep.
who was shot at the
I know
congressional baseball practice. The shooter said in his manifesto, the reason he went to shoot up the Republican baseball practice is because Bernie Sanders was saying that the Republicans want to take away health care. And
Released every Monday, Wednesday, Friday over the.
so that's where I have a responsibility to come out and say, no, that doesn't make any sense.